This video, we will cover 5 key mistakes we make in mid-career interviews and how to tackle them. And you will learn a wonderful new framework called CRISP for clear, relatable, informed, structured, and prepared. This is how you can tackle any mid-career interview and shine through it. So let's deep dive into it. So what are these 5 key mistakes that people often make in mid-career interviews? These are very common. Why am I telling you all this? Because I have conducted probably around 1,000 interviews, maybe a little bit more, and hired, of course, many of them, and also not hired several of them. I have myself appeared for interviews as well and have noted some lessons along the way. And this video is a summary of all those things. How is a mid-career interview different from early or senior career interview? In early career, your knowledge is usually sufficient to sail you through. In senior interviews, your work and your outcomes and your results have already made you a good candidate. But during mid career, a combination of your knowledge, application, results, appearance, how you come across, all of this comes handy. So, actually, mid career interviews are probably more complex and difficult to sail through. So, what are these 5 mistakes? The first mistake is not relating past roles to the current job at hand. It is okay to give a lot of examples from your past, even going down up to 5 years as well. But being not able to relate it to the requirements of the current job is a huge mistake. You are only dwelling on your past and not able to share how it connects to the requirement of the current role that you are interviewing for. This is a mistake because while you think that you are sharing stuff from your past, the interviewer starts to think that you are stuck in the past. Take an example. Anjali, a marketing executive with 15 years of experience. During her interview, she spent most of the time talking about her past campaigns, past initiatives, and forgot to link how it applied to the current role of a digital marketing executive. Of course, needless to add that she missed the opportunity in spite of having a very strong resume. If you were in Anjali's place, what would you do? I would suggest you emphasize your past experience, make a clear connection to the current role of the digital marketing executive, and each time you share an example, explain how that experience will be handy in this new role. That way, you will be able to draw a connection between your past and the needs of the current, and that makes you a winning candidate. Mistake number 2, not able to answer structured behavioral questions. Now, quite often you get questions in interviews which are behavioral and slightly structured in nature. Examples could be tell us your strengths from the past, or tell us your top strength, tell us your weaknesses, or in some situation where you lost your cool, some situation where you helped out others, and so on. Many mid career professionals assume that their experience is enough to sail them through. While that may be correct, but how you tackle these behavioral questions, which are structured in nature, is extremely important because in mid career, you will have to work with teams. You might be manager of a team where you will have to work with your team members, you will have to work with other stakeholders. So, unless you sail through in these behavioral questions, you will not make your mark as a good candidate. Take an example. Some years ago, I was interviewing Sujay, a project manager, and I asked him a simple question. Tell me about a major challenge that you have faced in the last 2 years. He fumbled quite a bit and even said that he has not faced any challenge in the last 2 years. Now, obviously, this is a huge lie because if you are not facing any challenges, you are probably not doing anything at all. Needless to add, he was not selected. And I did give him a feedback that look, this was the question where you stumbled and this is where you lost out. So please keep this in mind that when these questions are asked, they're not asked to understand just that incident. They're asked to understand how you process information, how you understand a situation, how you come out of it, and what is your general approach towards such situations. The interviewer will probably forget the incident after 5 minutes of the interview. So that incident is not really important. The context and how you approached and how you came out of it is more important. If you were in Sujay's position, what would you do? I would suggest use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. So explain what you did in this framework. What was the situation? What was the task at hand? What did you do? And what was the outcome? This way, you will not only give a response to the behavioral question that is asked, you will also demonstrate that you think objectively about such situations and even have a framework to think about it. And this will also allow you to tailor your responses because you're thinking in a framework, you are not tied to a particular incident or a story. Mistake number 3, inappropriate appearance and behavior. This is perhaps the most important of the lot. Generally, in mid career, when you reach the final round, which is usually a in person round, you would have done well. So, by then, your technical skill set, your social skill set, your ability to uh, do the job has been tested already by other people. This is where the senior person of the team, usually the department head, is trying to assess whether you will fit into the team or not. Do you have cultural fitment or not? And of course, other related things. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should turn up in your Sunday best or wear really fancy clothes. I'm not saying that. Nor am I saying that you be somebody else and be extra nice and very polite and overly exuberant and all of that. Be yourself, but in a window. How you dress is extremely important because that shows how sincere and serious you are for the role. I have often shared on my LinkedIn post stories of interviews where people turned up not appropriately dressed for the interview. They were sweating profusely. I understand that they might have walked a distance, or maybe it was too hot, maybe they came on a bike or something. But then, if you are that person, please take time to reach 15 minutes in advance and take time to freshen up and relax and calm down. Because the first appearance in many interviews is usually the last impression. I know it should not be. I know that your content should shine. I know your knowledge and skill set should shine. But the real truth is that your appearance does matter. Again, not your Sunday best, but presentable, clean, well ironed shirt or attire, that whatever you are wearing. For ladies, sari, dress, whatever you are wearing, it should be clean, crisp, and presentable for the interview. Imagine that you will be working in that organization. How will you dress in that situation? In summary, dress appropriately for the industry and the company's culture. Ensure your body language is positive. Maintain eye contact with the interviewer. And if offered a handshake, have a firm handshake, sit up straight, and be polite and professional throughout the interview. Mistake number 4, not having prepared any questions for the interviewer. So, interviewer has asked you questions, and when the time comes that he or she is asking you, so do you have any questions for me? You draw a blank. Now, that is highly unacceptable because this shows that you have not thought this question through. This question is known to everybody. You are in mid career, you have probably 10, 12, 15, 20 years of experience. This is not the first interview you are attending, so you would surely be knowing this question. And if you draw a blank, it only means that you have failed to plan for this question. The actual question that you ask may not be very important, but the fact that you asked a question shows that you prepared for it. I recently interviewed a person called Arjun. Towards the end of the interview, I asked him, so Arjun, do you have a question for me? He did have a question, but he only had a question about his salary and benefits, compensation. Now, this is an obvious question. This will anyway come up when you are at the final stage of the HR round. So, this is actually a question that doesn't tell me much about the thinking process of the candidate. I did give him the feedback that this was a very basic question at that stage and you are being hired for a slightly senior position. What would you do? I would suggest that prepare a list of questions that show your interest in the role and the company. Ask about team dynamics. Ask about the goals that you will likely be getting. Ask about opportunities for growth. What other roles could you do after 2 or 3 years in this organization? That also shows that you are planning long term. Ask about the incumbent. Ask about the previous year's goals and those kind of things. Ask about learning and development opportunities. There are many things that you can ask. But of course, keep it to 2 or 3, the most important ones. This will demonstrate your enthusiasm and helps you assess if the job is right fit for you also. Because you are not just asking the question to prove that you have planned well, you are also asking the question to learn about the organization. So give some pressure to the interviewer as well. Mistake number 5, not asking anything about career progression. This mistake is important enough to be highlighted as a separate point. Many mid-career professionals are way too happy to be getting the job. They forget about career progression opportunities and don't ask anything about that. This only demonstrates that the person being interviewed is not thinking about the future. And most interviewers will not like that situation. I remember one interview with a lady called Shweta. A business analyst, she was only talking about her extensive experience but did not explain how she saw herself growing in this new role in our organization. What do I suggest you should do? Articulate your career aspirations and how the role aligns with your professional growth. Be very prepared to discuss how do you plan to grow in this organization? What are you thinking 2 to 3 year, 5 year down the line? I know that none of this will probably come true. What you think today about 2 years, 5 years down the line may not come true. A lot of things will change, but at least it will show that you are aspirational. You want something to happen in your career. Now that I have shared 5 most common mistakes people make, let me quickly take you through 5 ways in which you can tackle these mistakes. Number 1, research the company. Understand the company's culture, mission, recent developments. If there is any news about them, don't appear completely unaware. This helps you tailor your responses and this will also show some genuine interest from you. Practice common questions. There are some common questions. Where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years time? Tell me about your friends. Give me a summary of your achievements. Tell us your weakness. These are very common questions. At least don't fumble on these questions. Dress appropriately is number 3. You don't have to be at Sunday best, but please dress appropriately. Understand the company's culture and try and blend in. And if you are confused about dressing, then please be overdressed rather than underdressed. Right. If you're not sure about wearing a tie, for example, for men, I would always suggest wear a tie. You can always remove a tie, but if you don't have a tie, you can't really bring a tie to the interview once you have not carried it to the interview. Fourth is prepare your own questions, which we discussed earlier. Invest in time in understanding the organization and prepare your own questions. And number 5, most important, attend mock interviews with either a friend or a career coach who can take you through all this. Recently, I helped out a candidate called Samir. He had been struggling. He had gone through 4 final round interviews, and even though his content was very good, his achievements were very good, he was always fumbling in the final round. We worked with him, and over 3 to 4 sessions, I gave him some assignments and helped him overcome this situation. He has recently landed a very good role. Now, you can remember all of this through a very simple framework called CRISP: clear, relatable, informed, structured, and prepared. Be clear, be relatable, be informed, know about the organization, be structured in your responses, and be very prepared for the interview. All of this, when used together, understanding the 5 areas that people normally go wrong, understanding the 5 areas that you can use to prepare better, will help you do well in your next interview. Remember, preparation is the key. Using all of this can help you prepare and give you that slight edge that you need over other participants during the final round. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe. You can find me on LinkedIn, on YouTube as well, so that such content can reach out to you in future. Good luck with your next interview and thanks for watching.